2 minutes before Cheryl.
2 minutes left.
No, we have no
Coding
tolerance.
space. Ah, but time.
We delete the zero tolerance today.
No, but Peter can, in this case, the chair.
What will,
But my
what
watch
will
is slower than 2
a
minutes.
week after to decide?
They should be covered for that. And they will be making a lot of calls.
No. No, we will.
A lot of comments we can make.
Tomorrow morning? Tomorrow morning is Swiss.
That's Swiss, yes.
I have to go in the afternoon.
Yes, afternoon. Yes.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the session of the Qualification Commission. I'm the acting or temporary chairman of the Qualification Commission. After the sudden death of our good friend, the late Niko Makula, I think many of you have known him for many, many years, including myself. Certainly it's a big loss for Philip. I think many of you, have very fond memories of him. Many of you have very fond memories of him. I don't think I need to say further. I think as a mark of respect, let us observe a minute of silence, please. Thank you. On my right is our QC Secretary, Nick Fox. I'd like to also introduce some new persons who have not joined us in previous meetings or who might have joined us before, not in any special order of priority. Vladimir Hukaev, our rating administrator from the Elista office. Ms. Baira, who is in charge of your title reports. Michalis, who is tracking all the title applications, ensuring that they are in order. These are three new person faces I think all of you should get yourself acquainted with. So let us go into the agenda, which has been prepared by the Secretary and the Council. First, we have the minutes of the meeting in Krakow.
Sorry, the minutes of the meeting in Krakow are not here in hard copy.
This is in your agenda, your main agenda, no?
I haven't managed to get them.
This is in Annex 19 of the agenda.
Ah, I haven't seen one of those.
You'll be very lucky if you can get one of those.
Yes, I'm sorry. So what we do is because the secretary was there, I was not in this meeting, so I will request that the Nick take us through the key points, which will not be repeated in the rest of the agenda this afternoon, so that we can move on to the other main items on the agenda. If at all necessary, Stuart will help us also.
Ah, let's do that. Ah, there we go. Undo paste. Right. It's okay. This goes 2011.
Yes, I was thinking that this part would not take very long because it's a year old and most of the matters arising are being dealt with anyway. And did any of the people who read...
It's good to
Certainly not.
no, it isn't actually.
Oh.
Did any of the people who were there and read these have anything to say? Personally, I didn't. Would you like me to run down one page at a time so you have a chance to see
do
them?
it slowly.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
People may have something to say that we don't know about.
they can type this sometimes.
So most of these items are in fact up for discussion here anyway. The 310 2.3 we said we would be monitoring closely. And so far as I know we have not done this. I don't even know if there have been any.
What, if you look in the last sentence, we wanted it to be, sorry, I'm not raising my voice. We wanted it to be that it put on the tournament registration and forms, and then we would be able to monitor it.
You're right, and that has not happened, so
That we should try to expedite.
do it actually this time. Indeed, that's a good point. Probably some more changes need making to those forms anyway. Going down. Oh, sorry, that was the old applications. The direct titles, we're going to have another go at talking about those this time. We didn't manage last time. Regulations in force of old norm results, again, an issue which we are getting around to this time, I think. Now the rates of play, now this has been rather overtaken by events, but again, I think we're getting a report on that this time. I was hoping that we would be coming after this morning's meeting where that would be settled, but if I'm correct about this morning's meeting, it wasn't. Removal of players from rating list, another very live issue which we need to deal with, if it's a QC matter. Sorry, I'm running down this very fast because there's not very much here that I've got anything to say about. Rapid and Blitz ratings, happy to say, did happen. And that's it, really. So, did anyone else in receipt of these minutes think that there was anything to discuss before we start today?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I see my name at the bottom of the page there.
Oh, yes.
Yes, where we were going to auction off access to a GM in the first round. it never happened. There was such a stick about it in Canada that everybody bailed on the idea because it seemed that they would be cheating someone out of a natural pairing. So we abandoned the idea ourselves.
Thank you very much for letting us know. Well, that was useful. Anything else? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes, Igor.
7 months ago, I sent some proposal to Mr. Leon. I just want to remind that if they are accepted, okay, if not accepted, also okay for me, because it's up to you. Just to remind that there was first idea was I spoke with Mr. Markova and let him sleep in peace. That it is strange now that we have law 1000. It should be possible to get initial rating to developing country without being other rating players. And that he told that he has had the same ideas, and Mr. Rubin also told that he also thought about it, and Mr. Leon also. I think we should some time earlier or later implement possibility to get initial rating without playing with other rating players, because lowest rating 1000 nobody care about it. Just to start have official chess players in developing country. For one country, for example, Russia or China, it's important to win Olympiad. For a very small country like Malawi, I think it's very important to have initial rating. And meeting with another rating players is impossible.
Okay, thank you, Igor. We will take this up later in relationship with proposals to the Israeli proposal. We'll pick it up later. There is also some items discussed in there's some minutes from the Warsaw meeting that to also discuss through. Yes, Frank.
Mr. Chairman, are we going to revisit the race of play issue or no?
We have today 4 hours. I consider as 2 sessions, and then a few days later we have another 4 hours. All right. So what we postpone, we have to postpone today, will be taken up subsequently. Yeah?
Thank you.
Yes.
Should we do the Warsaw now, or take it as it comes in order? Because the Warsaw was really all the same things we're discussing now, and we'll just get involved in individual things.
All right, perfectly okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Okay, then we have first on the agenda, next on the agenda is the rating regulations, the general considerations.
Okay, the update on the ratings experts, perhaps I can do this one. It won't take long. There was a presentation of the GLICO system, which was very interesting, and the only recommendation to come out was that we thought it would be a good idea over the coming 2 or probably 4 years to run in parallel a GLICO system to see how it compared with FIDE. And Vladimir is here now, and before he goes, we're hoping to set that up. He has. It sounds like a huge task to me, but they are confident in the list that it can be done, and they've done things before they said they could. So we should have something to report on that in, shall we say, a year. Yes?
Did you consider, instead of doing it for the future, doing it backwards?
We considered it, and it did not seem like a good idea at all. Too many complications.
Okay, about the GLICO system, I have to say that in our Warsaw meeting, we have invited a new person that we didn't know before. Our well-known friend, Mr. Jeff Sonas, has made a competition last year with funds from Australia and the United States, I think. It was the Kaggle competition, and he awarded the scientist who was able to make the best rating system. It was a test. There were some conditions for this competition, and the winner was Mr. Stephenson, a professor of statistics or mathematics from Swinburne University in Australia. Mr. Stephenson, Alex Stephenson, was invited in Warsaw to our meeting last April, and he presented his own system. It was a little bit more complicated, an evolutionary method of the same well-known Glico system that I made a presentation last year in Krakow. We did see a lot of things. We have examined a lot of, Jeff Sonas also showed us a lot of examples in his computer. And our consideration was that there were things that we did not like. For example, players who came back from a long inactivity and they had a number of good tournaments. They were somehow boosted up to the ratings, and eventually in the January list of 2012, number 10 was Mr. Sadler from England, which was a little bit a surprise for all of us. That's why we decided to consider the Glico system as a parallel system, testing how it works for a number of years. I don't know how many. We don't know what will come of this. And we also do not know what is the exact formulas that are going to be used. Because the original Glico, which is the only system that personally I have examined, and Mr. Stephenson's formula, they're a lot of years of research apart. They are different, and what I want to say is that the backward research will help us to evaluate the system, because right now in FIDE we have more than 5 or 6 years of exact, from 2005, how many, Vladimir? So we have the exact tournament results and game results.
Exact from
2007?
2008 April. It's,
okay, 2008 April, so it's only 4 years, but with Mr. Sonas' database, we can go back to 2001 or 2002 with a very good knowledge of the exact results of the games. So this is only for testing purposes, and we hope, if we agree finally, that we will be able to produce the first Glico system, to announce it next year. But this is to be decided, of course, even for testing of the system. So, correct?
Yes, sorry, Totti, was that in fact your question? Will we be just looking backwards? Oh, then I apologize, I didn't understand. Yes.
We use backwards, of course. That's the answer. We can use it to evaluate how the system works. But
Yes.
not for rating purposes, only for evaluation.
So we need to take a decision. I would say that I would recommend that we start to evaluate by using data from previous years and to make a report in the next Congress, so that we could take another step after next year. Okay?
I'm not sure that. Oh, I'm sorry.
I have one question. Is it possible, if we use another system like SD, Glico and other, is it possible to calculate the ratings without having all the data? That means if you get 100 rating points in ELO, I can calculate where you have got it. If you get 100 points in Glico system, can I calculate where you have got it?
I think not.
So,
because all the results of a rating period are correlated into
No.
the calculation.
that means we have a system, the new system is not visual, it is not understandable by the players. I will not say that it is but it may be possible to buy points on the black market.
Yes.
But it is, I think it will not be very well accepted. Because
Yes.
I am often asked, as rating officer, they ask me, why is my rating so and so? And then I have to answer, and now I calculate it and say, okay, it is okay. You remember the old Bunzmann case?
No, I don't remember.
He won 135 points, was cut to 100, and after 2 years he wanted the 35 points additional to have. And I calculated that if the cut could not have taken part, he would not have got this, he could have lost his 35 points. So there is no points for him to give. This is not possible. So in future, I have to answer players, I don't know.
Yes.
I think this is a very bad situation.
Mr. Krause, every system is based on some principles, and the principles of the ELO system are different than the principles of the GLICO system.
Yes.
What you say is true. You won't be able to calculate exactly how the rating change happened, but we have other benefits with the GLICO system. For example, we get rid of unrated players. We allow the players to adjust to their real rating, to their real position in the ranking list sooner. I think that, of course, we're going to evaluate the system and we're going to receive feedback from the players, but we do not know yet how exactly to market such a new system. And this knowledge we expect it to come by the years, by using it. So I don't think that, I think that we will be able, even if not answer exactly what you ask, but to be able to provide another benefit that balances those things that you say.
I'm afraid that you have a new system which is mathematically better, but not understandable.
Yes,
I'm a mathematician. I say a word from the mathematician German Gauss said, mathematical stupidity is seen with too much extent of believing on exact figures.
Yes.
So,
Okay, thank you, Mr. Manager. Nigel?
Sorry, I was going to make exactly the same point. I was going to say that as Figge, whilst it looks like the ecosystem is more accurate and certainly will provide many more rated players than we have at the moment, which is a big advantage, it's going to be much harder for players themselves to understand where their ratings are or how they are. The advantage of ELO now is very easy to calculate. And obviously when we make the final decision, we're going to have to decide whether ease of calculation is more preferable than exact figures. Because at the moment, people are happy with the ELO system. I think on the whole, the majority of players know where they are, they know where it is. Whether the extra advantage of GLICO will outweigh the ease of using ELO is something we will discover later on, I think.
Yes.
Yes, I think what we have to decide is whether we intend to recommend to the General Assembly that a parallel system using GLICO or STICO be commenced upon. And Christian has pointed out certainly the disadvantages, and this is very obvious, some of the disadvantages, and if he feels it outweighs the possible benefits that might accrue, then he should vote against it, because we shouldn't waste our time.
We should at minimum provide near to formula that it may be estimated the correctness or not. That means if you have a formula that calculates the new GLICO with not very exactly, but near to, it may help.
How to do that? There are no exact formulas.
Okay, Brian?
Yeah, Brian Jones, Australia. We've been using Glico for many years, and I've been on the receiving end of Glico from a rating point of view. And I think it's a very, very good system, and the one thing that Australia do wrong is they need an independent auditor. So we don't have to make that decision now, but when and if we do go live on a Glico system, then this commission, or some officers from this commission, have to audit the maths to make sure that it's all done above board, so to speak, and that there's no external influence. And it's like an accounting audit, but it's a rating audit. That's my recommendation.
Any other comments? I think the recommendation is just to do a parallel evaluation.
Yes, and compare.
And then compare.
And publish to the public.
Yes, publish to the public.
Yes.
And then this will be taken up again in the next Congress.
I don't even understand why the General Assembly needs to approve this. Unless there's a budgetary consideration, which I think there is not. Ballista can just do it.
Yeah. It's just an evaluation. I mean, it's not.
Just over time of staff.
Yes, but if they can handle it. If we're told we have to go out and get more staff because of the Glico, that's different. We're not being told that.
Nigel?
I agree. I mean, I don't think, it's a parallel system. Let's try and see how it works. Should be no extra cost involved, so go ahead and do it. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it.
Vladimir?
I think there will be no extra cost from our office.
Thank you. So, okay, we will recommend to the General Assembly.
Can we have it in writing?
So we start when? If General Assembly recommends?
From 1st of January.
1st of January?
No, we are doing backwards.
Backward evaluation.
Backwards.
Data.
Any recommendation, Michali?
Okay. My recommendation is that as soon as we go home, we must make an agreement with Jeff Sonas, because he's the one to provide, to manipulate the formula, and then ask Vladimir to implement it, to make the algorithm.
But at whichever number of years is suitable. Yeah.
There will be some side problems here, which are the initial ratings to be used. All of these are not important for me to be discussed in the open.
I just want, the question was how
but
many
I
years
believe
back?
that we can start.
Those
First
technical
to start,
details, we leave it to the people to do it. Okay?
what's the, Nigel, what is the update with Jeff Sonas? Do we have an agreement with Jeff?
I'm waiting for Jeff to get back to me.
Technically, Jeff provided already me with formulas he prepared.
Okay.
But I didn't know about the deadlines for the launch, so I just looked through it but did not apply yet. So, but he already provided.
Okay, thank you. We move on to the next item.
Okay, Annex 1 is unfortunately not the first annex. I didn't see the stapling until it's in front of me, but it's not a problem. Annex 1 is a single sheet proposal from Stuart Rubin, 7 pages before the end. So I hope you will find that.
I don't know. Sorry? No. This
A game that has not been started. Is it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, it starts with point 1. A game that has not been started for whatever reason is never rated.
So you found that?
Yeah, where is it?
7 pages before the end in the stapled version.
Okay.
So perhaps you want to explain why
I'm of course, but I'm hoping everyone will have found it first.
Put it there. You can put it up.
Yes, can you?
Unfortunately, I don't think they can.
Okay. The problem is there have been a number of games where one player has scored perhaps a half and the opponent has scored 0. Or both players have scored 0. that decision has been made, which is nothing, without reference to the rating system. The normal result for a rated game is that there be 1 point divided 0, 1, half, half, or 1, 0 between the two players. If you avoid